guess I won't even say, hey, this might be the last video recorded in this place, because every time I say that, I end up having to record another video. I mean, having to record is extreme. I end up having something else to record. I actually remember to do that sound thing again, too. Look at me with the hopefully better audio. We took an absolute crap load of books and DVDs and some board games, all kinds of stuff, to McKay's used bookstore once again. And it was a lot. It was a lot. My back hurts. But we got a lot out. A bunch of the stuff only was worth in-store credit. We were going for cash because right now, we're getting ready to move. We kind of want some money. Little bits here and there help. So we unloaded a whole bunch of books. We got some cash, and then the rest we got in credit. So I went and I checked. And unlike the last time I went, there was actually some stuff in the gaming section, which was nice. However, I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff that I picked up. What did I get? Well, I got this copy of Time of the Great Freeze. I think I mentioned in the last used book haul, when I was talking about Robert Silverberg, that this was the book that kind of helped break me out of kids' books, picture books and stuff like that. I read this book and I absolutely loved it. And I was thinking about, oh boy, I should revisit this book because I liked it so much. And I was looking at my copy, which I believe was my copy when I was, I don't know, 10, maybe. And it's just beat to crap. I mean, it's barely stuck together. So I decided I would grab this. It was very cheap, so I picked that up. The last time I was there were a bajillion books from this series, but there were no copies of this book, Lord Valentine's Castle, which is the first in the series, as far as I know anyway. Robert Silverberg can be a little tricky with that sort of thing. But anyway, I never really was that interested in this. I remember this used to be at the used bookstore I went to a lot, and whatever reason, it just never clicked with me. This guy juggling on the cover, Lord Valentine's Castle. I've never been a big fantasy guy. I was always more into sci-fi, but I think this is actually kind of genre bending, and I have learned over time that I should probably just trust in Silverberg and give it a read. Anyway, so I picked that up. A book I've owned for a bajillion years is, I think it's called, oh, it's on here, West of Eden by Harry Harrison. I've never really read any Harry Harrison. I know, shocking. I've never read The Stainless Steel Rat. Part of it is that I always got the sense that it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and I'm not a big fan of reading comedy. I know that's a weird hill to die on. I think that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is hysterical. I love it. I think it's an amazing piece of work. I love all the adaptations of it, all of them, even the movie. But I can't read the book. I listened to it as an audiobook and that worked, but reading comedy, for some reason, I just get bored out of my mind. Anything long form, anything longer than like a page or two, and I start just getting really bored. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. Anyway, so I never read any Harry Harrison because I mostly knew him from Stainless Steel Rat, but I've had a copy of West of Eden for a really long time, which I believe is sort of a what if the dinosaurs didn't die out kind of thing, but then primates do evolve, I think that's the gist. And in my new life, I'm expecting to be commuting a lot more, and I want to be a little more purposeful about reading on my commutes. So I'm going to dig out my copy of West of Eden, read that, and then I have the sequel, Winter in Eden, which I had meant to read these since I was a little kid. When did these come out? These came out probably like 86, 87. 87 for this one, or 86, I think, for the hardcover. So yeah, I was probably about 10 or so. I've not heard positive things necessarily, or I should say I've not heard that John Jakes is a good writer, but I have heard that he is an entertaining writer. And I don't believe ever read John Jakes. So I saw Mention My Name at Atlantis, which is a great title. And I think I've heard that this is a fun read. And When the Star Kings Die, which is also a pretty good title. And it's sci-fi-ish. There's a guy riding a dragon, but there's also a robot sentry gun. Was it the end of a galactic empire or the dawn of a greater one? Well, I guess we'll just have to find out. Anyway, I assume that these are enjoyable quick reads. That would be my assumption. I do think one of these has really tiny print. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Mention My Name in Atlantis has that microscopic 60s, 70s print. That will be a joy to read, an absolute joy. Up next, Parsifal or A Knight's Tale by Richard Monaco. David McCall Johnson illustrating. I don't know about this. Because I think I've been reading some, it's cool, because I've been reading some Arthurian stuff, and with Pendragon having its new edition out, I was just sort of in the mood. So I thought, I'll check this out. Variation on the myths. It's cool. I like variations on myths. And last time I had good luck and I found the second volume of The Black Company. So while I was there, I saw these two books by Glenn Cook, which I have no real idea about, but I thought I would give them a look. If I am not mistaken, these are not part of the Black Company. I think that these are separated from that in some way, a different series or what have you. I don't know. We'll see. I'll give them a read. I really enjoyed that first volume of the 3 books for the Black Company. I really liked that. And I have heard the series falls off. I don't know. But I really enjoyed that trilogy quite a bit, like much more than I anticipated. I also found this weird one, Dream Quest of Villet Bow by Keege Johnson, I'm thinking, or Keege Johnson, I'm not sure. This is a haunting novella. It's both a commentary on a classic H.P. Lovecraft tale and a profound reflection on a woman's life. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I really dig Lovecraft's Dreamlands, and I'm curious about some other people's takes on them. So we'll give it a go. We'll check it out. Let's see. Then I found these 3 volumes. I have never heard of this, but you know, small press stuff is cool. This is Mega Dungeon 1, 2, and 3. These are like an step up from a zine. These are, what do you call this? I don't remember the name of the binding, but they look like they're, you know, they remind me a little bit of Gog Farmer's Almanac. There's an ad in the back for Ultraviolet Grasslands. And there's the Succubus, which I feel like is a play on the Succubus from the old Fiend Folio, maybe, or Monster Manual. I don't remember which one. Anyway, I'll take a look at these, see if there's stuff that I can lift from them. I'm assuming they're probably 5e related. You know, I don't even know if it says what game it's actually intended for. Is it just OSR? Is it? I don't know, but I'm sure I can translate this to some Dungeon Crawl classics if I like what I see. There's, you know, looks like some cool maps. This really reminds me of Gog Farmer's Almanac, just flipping through it. It's got that kind of DIY vibe. Anyway, Mega Dungeon, issue 1, 2, and 3. I'd never heard of it. Now I have. So, YouTube celebrity Mike Shea, I saw his name on here, as well as I've heard of James Hake. I don't know about Jerry Leneve, maybe, and Bill Slavicsek. I bet that's anyway. I'm terrible with Eastern European names, which is what I assume that is. Anyhow, this is a Kobold Press thing. I know they get a lot of positive reviews. This is 5e, of course, but I suspect will be fairly easily translatable over to other stuff. This is, you know, Eldritch Layers. So it is, I assume. I didn't really scan through it. We were kind of in a rush, so I just picked up anything that looked interesting. But these look like little adventure / layers to throw into your game, which again should be pretty easy to toss over into some Dungeon Crawl classics. I really do like a lot of this art. It's very vibrant. You know, it's a little cartoony, but then again, so is like a lot of the art from 5e. It's got a more cartoony kind of vibe, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It may not be my style of choice, but it's not a bad style, and it seems fine. Also, part of that was this fantastic layers, boss battles and climactic encounters. Scott Fitzgerald Gray, James Intercasso, and Michael E. Shea again. I'm assuming I'm not wrong, and that is Mike Shea from the Sly Flourish. That would be my assumption. So this looks like more of this kind of material. Great. So I will check that out. There was more. This is so much different from the last time I went when I found like nothing at all. This is from, I picked this up honestly because of the company, New Big Dragon. I've liked the stuff that I've picked up from them in the past. This is Vault of the Faceless Giants for use with BX, LL, RPG, blah, 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 old school adventures, but it has, you know, some maps and adventure-y kind of stuff. Big map in the middle. Again, I'll read it if it seems like the kind of thing that I will be able to work into some Dungeon Crawl Classics or what have you. Great. If it isn't, I will move it along to somebody else. And last was one that's like, I don't know, this one's weird. So when I was first getting back into tabletop RPGs, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos. I was working freight at the time, and I had just a lot of time to kill, a lot of time doing mindless jobs where I could pop a YouTube video on. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I was watching a lot of game stuff. And I remember that's when I found, you know, Mike Shea and Matt Colville and you know, a bunch of others, and Ben Milton with Questing Beast. And I remember this was one that I saw early on from Ben Milton, as well as RPG Imaginings and Bud from Bud's RPG Reviews. You know, found all those guys when I was working freight. And I remember that Questing Beast did this review, and I thought this sounded really cool. And then I remember like trying to find it. It was hard to find, and it was hard to get a hold of a copy. For whatever reason, I think there may have been a second edition kickstarted, but I don't do Kickstarters. And anyway, I was not able to pick it up. And then, like, I don't know, there's weird stuff with the Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I don't understand it, but I just get odd vibes around a lot of the stuff. So I kind of put it on the, you know, I kind of just forgot about it. And I feel like, if I remember right, this was not an inexpensive book originally. Like, I feel like it was quite expensive. And I could be wrong on that again. I don't remember, but it's also full color. But I love the idea of it. This kind of weird thing about like sky islands and shark people. And there's obviously like a kind of Jack Kirby-ness to a bunch of this. So great. I love this kind of crazy Hellsapop and stuff. And I don't know Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I think it's another retro clone. I don't know. I never picked it up. I think I might have another source book for it somewhere, or a supplement or something. But again, I picked it up for my Dungeon Crawl Classics games, and it was pretty inexpensive. Oh, it looks like the Keep on the Borderlands is getting torched in the back. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm going to give it a read. Hopefully it's entertainingly weird. We'll see. And I wonder if this is one that Pookie did editing on. I know Pookie from Reviews for LA does a lot of editing. No, somebody else. So anyhow, I'm not even going to say whether or not I think this might be the last video I record here. I'm just going to move on. If you enjoyed looking at this random crap I just bought at a used bookstore in Northern Virginia, go ahead and give it a like if you enjoy this kind of no-effort content. Slightly more effort because I remembered to plug in the headset, which I had to reach just outside of the camera view and unplug and move it over here. That is more effort than I normally expend for one of these videos. Anyway, if you enjoy that at all, subscribe. Check out the links below in the little thingamajig to help the channel in any way that you see fit. Anything's fine. Just a like, comment, anything's fine. Until next time, we'll find out where I am. I don't know. Take care.